section for this unit on factoring is going to be on factoring trinomials. And hopefully you know at this point that you're going to use the AC method to do this. So if you are not comfortable with that, you need to come talk to me, because I'm going to assume you know how to do it. I have 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. Whenever my first term is an understood 1, there is a shortcut. So I would love for you to be using this shortcut if you notice that there's a 1 there. It's going to make life a lot easier as we get into some more difficult problems. So if I know there's a 1 there, then I can quickly go to the answer. My first 2 terms are going to multiply to be the x squared. Then I'm going to look for 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 36 and add to be negative 9. So you might think there that's a 3 and that's 3 and a 12. So you might want to go, you might go through a few things here, but remember, if it's negative, one of the signs has to be negative so that they multiply to be negative 36. And we want them to add to be negative 9, and this top one adds to be positive 9. So I'm going to make this positive and this negative. So I have plus 3 and negative 12, and I'm just going to fill these in right there. The 2 numbers multiply to be negative 6, and they add to be negative 9. On 15, same thing as initial 1 there that's understood. So this is going to be x times x. 15 is 3 times 5. I can't use pluses because they need to add up to be a negative. So if I do a negative 3 and a negative 5, they multiply to be negative 15. Positive 15. And they add to be negative 8. So watch the signs. Minus 3, minus 5. Multiply to be positive, add to be negative 8. 16, same thing here. I'm going to have an x and an x, and 20, I think of 4 and 5 first. It's a negative 20, so it's negative 4 and 5, but that is not it. Then 20 also is going to give me a 2 and a 10. I also would have a 1 and a 20, but it looks like the 2 and the 10 will do it. Negative 2 times positive 10 is negative 20, and they add to be positive 8. So I'm going to put in here the minus 2 and plus 10. And if you're wondering, it does not matter which parentheses you put those in. One of them has to be x minus 2 and the other one x plus 10. And this last one, 2 numbers that multiply to be 25 would be 5 and 5, and they add to be 10. I want them to add to be negative 10, so they're both going to be minuses. So negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, and they add to be negative 10x. This problem, number 17, x squared minus 10x plus 25 is called a perfect square trinomial, because we can write the factored form as x minus 5 to the 2nd power. So here's the steps for factoring a 2nd degree trinomial or any trinomial using the AC method. You're going to put the trinomial in the form where there's some number times x squared, or I'm just going to get it in descending order, plus bx plus c. So I'm going to get it so that my exponents get smaller. And we're going to find the product AC. You're going to list all pairs of factors of AC until you find one that adds up to B. You're going to split the middle term of the trinomial using that pair of factors as coefficients, and then you're going to factor by grouping. So let's go through those. So this first one, I'm going to multiply. Here's A, here's C, so 3 times 8 is 24. I'm going to list those factors. So 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 8, 4, 6. And I'm going to find the pair that adds to be 14, which is this one. I'm going to split the middle term. So I'm going to have 3x squared and then plus 2x plus 12x plus 8. I'm going to group the first 2, group the second 2, and I'm going to factor out a common factor from the first. So x, which leaves me with 3x plus 2 Always use this middle sign in the middle, so that third sign goes here, so plus. And then my last group has a common factor of 4, and that leaves me with 3x plus 2. And then we notice that the two parentheses are the same, and if they're not, you made a mistake. You need to look again at what you've done up to that point. But because they are, I'm going to factor them out, 3 plus 2, 3x plus 2, and I'm left with the x plus 4 inside my parentheses, so x plus 4, and that's going to be factored form. 19, it looks a little different than our x squared and our x, but we can still treat it the same way. You notice that the x squared is in descending order. I have a 2, a 1, and none. So I'm going to use the AC method here as well. So I'm going to multiply my a times my c and get negative 30, and I'm going to list the different factors, 130, 215, 3, 10, 5, and 6. It's negative, so one of them has to be negative. And I'm going to find one that adds up to 1, which is here. My signs are wrong because right now those are adding up to a positive. So I'm going to make this a plus and that a minus. So now I'm going to rewrite this and split the middle term. So this is going to be 2x squared, y squared. And for the middle term, I'm going to have plus 5. Now I've got to use the same variable, xy. And then minus 6, xy. And you notice those two things will add up to negative xy. And then minus 15. I'm going to group the first two, group the second two, take out a common factor, which looks to be x, y. And it leaves me with 2xy plus 5. I'm going to use the third sign in the middle, so there's going to be a minus right there. And then in the last two, it looks like there's a 3 in common. So that's going to leave me with 2xy. And then when I take the negative out, that's going to change this to a plus 5. Then to finish it, you're going to notice again that my two parentheses are the same. So I'm going to factor those out, 2x plus y. Oh, I'm sorry, that should be 2x plus 5. 2xy plus 5. So that's my parentheses. And then what I'm left with is xy minus 3. So you can kind of see the xy minus 3. And that is the answer to that. Number 20, again, 3 terms. Again, it has a little bit of a different look, but you'll notice that it goes x squared, then x, and then no x's. So it's in the right form. So I've got 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. AC method, that's going to give me negative 60. So I'm looking, let's see, 1 and 60. There's a lot of them. 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12. There you go. There's a 5 and a 12. Oh no, because they need to add up to, they need to multiply to be negative 60. So that does not work. Scratch that. So I'm looking for one of these that's got, I've got to have opposite signs. That's going to add up to be 17. So keeping in mind there that this is negative 60. So I need to have a positive and negative, so that was wrong. And so I'm going to, there right there adds up to a positive 17, which is what I want. So I'm going to split this middle term. So I'm going to have 12x squared minus 3. Now this time it's got an xy in the middle again. And then plus 20xy. So notice it matches the variable minus 5y squared. Group, common factor 3x. I'm going to be left with 4x minus y. Third sign in the middle, so plus there. 5y, and I'm left with 4x minus y. My parentheses match, so 4x minus y times 3x plus 5y. Then one more, again, still a different look, but you can see that it goes x to the 4th and x squared and no x's. So we're going to attempt the AC method. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but we do have 3 terms. So a times c is going to be negative 90. So I'm thinking 9 and 10, that's not it. So we've got 2 and 45, 3 and 30. What about a 5? 5 goes into it, 1, 18. Nope, I got a 6. 6 goes into it, 1 and 30, 15. There we go. So I wanted to multiply, no, I need to multiply to be positive 9. So we haven't found that yet, have we? Because this is all going to have one negative in there. Which one am I missing? Let's see, what am I missing? I'm going to stop it here for a sec. Okay, well, yes, it does. So this does add up to a positive 9 right there. So we're going to split the middle term. And so when we do, we're going to have 10x to the 4th minus 6. And then this time it's an x squared. So minus 6x squared plus 15x squared. You got to make sure you use that same variable as right there. And then minus 9, group 2, take out a 2x squared, and I'm left with 5x squared minus 3. Third sign is plus, take out a 3. That's going to leave me with 5x squared minus 3. So common factors, 5x squared minus 3, and I'm left with 2x squared plus 3. So there's a lot of different examples of how you can use the AC method.